making sure that you know why you're calling. Make sure that when you have the physician paged, and I know this is hard because you have a lot of other responsibilities, but try to be near the phone so there's not a long, huge pause as they're trying to find the person who paged the doctor. Make sure you know about the patient, and I just would reiterate knowing exactly why you're calling and addressing that specific issue, and if you have some thoughts on the matter as to what you would like to see happen, I think it's very helpful. Okay. Especially if it's 3 in the morning, you're shaking the cobwebs off. I think it's very helpful if the nurse says, for example, Mr. Jones, who came in for unstable angina and had a stent put in, and his systolic blood pressure is 190, and he already got his low pressor and lisinopril earlier this evening. How about if we push some hydralazine, or would you like us to increase his low pressure? I find that extremely helpful.
I want to hear a thumbnail sketch about the patient, their name, perhaps their age. In pediatrics, that's important. And what their story is, what brought them into the hospital, and then what the problem is, what the nurse sees as the problem.
Being able to cut through and go through a process of identification, clarification of a problem, and early evaluation of what the problem might be, and then what direction shall things go. I think you'll find more often the doctor's going to say, yeah, that sounds like a really great plan, why don't we try that, and if that doesn't work in an hour, call me back and we'll proceed down to plan B.
I think because it forces the person coming to you to have thought through what is it that I'm really needing, wanting, and in some instances answering the question for themselves before even asking it. So I think it brings to the table more information from the person giving me the information, as well as it helps both of us to think through things logically and together.
Many times the phone call will come in with starting with a historical background of who the patient is, and there are times where we have to stop the nurse and ask why we're being called. Sometimes we find that it would be more useful if the call would start really with what the situation is, and then we can ask background facts as needed.
The current situation of what's going on right now, what type of help that they need, and how I need to prepare the unit. Is this patient coming to us to deliver, to go to surgery, or do they just need some extra help to come and assess a patient?
So when I'm on call, I hope and expect that I'll get called. I've never really felt that being called was a burden or that it upset me. What's more important to me is that the information I receive is sent to me in a way that I can interpret very quickly. When we're on call at night, we're often processing a lot of information, and if you get distracted, then the problem is that you can make a mistake with somebody else. And so if I get a call from the floor while I'm admitting a patient in the emergency room, and the information I'm receiving doesn't get to the point very quickly, then I'm apt to either be distracted from the person who I'm trying to take care of at that moment, or not fully understand what I need to do to benefit the patient, which you're calling me about. When I'm receiving information on the floors, I really appreciate knowing what the situation is right up front. So if you need something from me, or there's a critical problem with the patient, please just tell me exactly what that is as a situation, and then feel free to tell me the background and your assessment and recommendations.
When I get a call for a rapid response and go out to the floor, my immediate question and concern is, why was I called? What's the immediate information I need to have to try and help troubleshoot? The bedside nurses, I know, sometimes will get a little flustered, I think, with trying to give a lot of background information, or they've been here for 6 days or whatever, and I'm just looking for more of a nutshell of what are the specifics, what has changed, why are they now concerned, and what other factors can they tell me that would help me to determine what would be the best plan of care, or what is needed to help assess and be able to communicate with the physicians as to the change in the patient on the floor.